Hello, Lindsay. How are you?
Hey there, Michelle. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Lindsay, do you tend to get lost a lot?
Wow, do I get lost a lot? Yes, in a new place, yes. Thank goodness for Google Maps. I have no internal GPS. I
Me.
if I go to a strange city, let's say I go visit Detroit or something and I don't know the city, I cannot remember I'm not good at that.
I'm the same. I am very very thankful that we live in a good in the time with Google Maps.
I
I
know.
don't know where I would be
How did people
without
do it? I think people just talk to each other more often, I guess. Where can
That's
I
true. I
find this
stopped at the gas
hotel?
station, asked for
Right.
directions.
Right,
Yeah.
it's true. What does that have to do
Yeah.
with today's episode?
Well, the word lost is in the expression that we're going to be talking about today. We're not actually really talking about being lost direction wise, but we are going to get into something interesting with the word lost. And this is based on a really good listener question from YouTube.
Ooh, we love good listener questions. Guys, don't forget, we have a whole YouTube channel where you can find this episode today and other episodes recorded on video. So go over to YouTube and type in All Ears English and hit subscribe. All right, Michelle, should I go ahead and read the listener question?
Sure, please.
All right, this is from @blue1blue. Hi, I'm Sajad. I'm from Iran. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for your amazing podcast. And I have a question. What does not lost on me at all mean? I heard it from How I Met Your Mother. Keep up the nice work. Michelle, do you watch that show, How I Met Your Mother?
I did watch it. Yeah. How about you?
I never really got into it, but it's always on TV now. I always see
Uh
it on
huh.
TV. So sometimes I'll just catch like a rerun or something.
I never watch it now, but I did watch it like towards the end of when the show was on. So I
Yeah.
do know it, but it's not a show I'm an expert on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Did you hear this expression recently?
Yes, I actually heard it just this past weekend, so I know I love it when I plan an episode or I'm about to plan an episode and I think, "Oh, well, I just heard that," and that's how I know that
I
that's a really
know.
good question.
That's how we know we're teaching real English right here on this show. Guys, go ahead and hit the follow button for that exact reason because we teach you real English. We don't really go back and change these conversations, by the way. A lot of podcasts do edit out things. We don't really edit. We have a wonderful editor. Gaspar's amazing. Shout out to
Yes.
Gaspar.
Yes,
But we
thank
don't
you, Gaspar.
yeah, thank you. But we don't change the little utterances that we make. We don't go back and
Right.
change our mistakes because we want to show you real English. All
Yeah.
right. And that is one reason that All Ears English is different from other podcasts and one reason to hit that follow button. Right, Michelle?
Definitely. Make sure you hit follow wherever you're listening to All Ears English so you never miss an episode.
Oh, love it. Okay. So, Michelle, let's just make sure we're super clear for our listeners. What is the expression we're talking about today?
Okay, so it's something is not lost on someone.
Okay.
So, and then this listener added at all on it, which we
Hmm.
can touch on, but we're really going to mostly just talk on to
Yeah.
something is not lost on someone.
Yeah.
So if
Hmm.
you say not lost on you, okay, something
Hmm.
is not lost on you, that means you understand or appreciate something in some way. So you recognize something. Now,
Yes.
that sounds maybe a little confusing, so let's do some examples. Lindsay, do you wanna do
Right.
the first one?
Yeah, here we go. It's not lost on me how lucky I am to have my job. I know others have not had as much luck. Right. And we
Mhm.
often realize this when, we go into a recession, for example, if people lose their jobs and we still have our job, we feel very grateful, right? It's not
Mhm.
lost on me. Okay.
Right, so you can appreciate it, you recognize it, it doesn't just go over your head, you
Yes.
see it.
Hmm.
Or here's another one, "His comments were not lost on me, I knew exactly what he was implying." So
Ooh. So
yes.
sounds like there was so this is I love this phrase because it really
Yeah.
gets at the fact that a lot of communication is not necessarily in the exact words literally of what we're trying to
Mhm.
say.
Yep.
It's the undercurrent,
Yes.
it's the implications, it's the analogies that we use. It's the tone of voice, Michelle.
Yes, exactly. There's so much more than the actual word. So I knew exactly what he was implying. So maybe he was saying something fine, but you knew what it was really about.
Yeah, I love that now our listeners are going to have a way to articulate this. Here's another one. Her kindness is not lost on me. I do not take it for granted. So this one is not
Mhm.
as much about, underhanded, other ways of saying things. It's someone is being kind, but we're saying
Mhm.
we actually notice that life can get really busy and we can take people for granted, right?
Right, right. Exactly. So I was thinking of an example from my life,
Mm.
and I could say it's not lost on me how lucky I am to have lived in New York. So I appreciate it. I notice it. I'm aware of it. It doesn't just go over my head. Um,
Oh yeah, that's perfect. I love that, Michelle. Yeah, you are lucky
yeah.
to have lived in New York too.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you feel like is not
um,
lost on you?
Yeah, I think for me, it's not lost on me how great my upbringing was, my childhood. My parents were amazing. I was a happy kid. I feel like I was able to do a lot of things as a kid and I feel grateful for it. So,
Great example. Great
yeah.
example.
So this is also another way to express gratitude for things in our life. Isn't it, Michelle?
Yep, exactly.
All right. So yeah, speaking of gratitude, I mean, what are some ways that we use this? Why
Yeah.
would we use this, Michelle?
Right, yeah, exactly, like Lindsay just said, when we're thankful for something, we're grateful. It's not lost on me how great my upbringing was. It's not lost on me how lucky I am for XYZ.
Yeah.
And another
Mhm.
thing that I just like about that is it shows that we're paying attention. It
Yes.
sounds smart. It sounds like we are aware of what's going on. We're with it. We're
With it, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so it's I think also very important today because as Lindsay was mentioning, everything is kind of go 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 and busy, but
Mhm.
if you say, oh, something isn't lost on me, you're saying, yeah, maybe things are busy, but I know this to be true.
Yes, you've taken the time to observe and to understand that something's going on, and you need a
Mhm.
way to say that, and this is perfect for that. Yes.
Mhm. Right.
Or when we understand that something is important or difficult, right? Maybe you're having a conversation with a friend and you need a way to show that you really understand what they're going through. Okay?
Mhm.
This could be
Mhm.
useful in that case.
Yeah, and it could also be used at work or in your personal life. So,
Mhm.
what about adding at all? And we could do a whole episode on that, but, our listener was
Yeah.
asking about something is not lost on me at all.
Yeah.
Um, this
What do
is
you
just a
think?
way of it I think it's just intensifying it a little bit,
Mhm.
just saying in
Yep.
no way, right? So,
Yep.
you
In no
could
way.
do that,
Yeah.
and that would be fine too.
Yeah, I think he was just, quoting the movie,
Exactly.
line
So,
and
yeah.
and you can add, we actually, Michelle, have we done an episode on adding at all to
I
the
don't
end?
think so, and I
Oh
think
my
we should.
gosh, that's insane. I can't believe it. We need to do that episode. Guys, hit the follow button so you don't miss that episode
Yes.
coming up soon. We'll cover that in another episode. All right. But basically,
Absolutely.
what Michelle said is perfect. It's intensifying what you're saying. Okay.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So, do we ever say something is lost on us, right? We were talking about, "Oh, it's not
Good
lost on
question.
me." Do we ever say, "Oh, that's lost on me?"
It's a great question. I don't think we do. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say something like, "Oh, her explanation was lost on me," right? You could, but
Yeah.
it's not very
It's
common. It's not really I would say this
no.
is very common in the negative, less so in the positive.
Yeah. There are other things that you might say if you're looking for the positive. Like, for example, oh, completely went over her head.
Right,
Or
right.
she missed the cues, things like that. Um,
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
good point.
grammatically, you could say it was completely lost on me, but it's just not used as much.
Yeah, yep,
Mhm.
exactly. So, but what are some things that you could say that are a little bit similar?
Yeah, you could say it does or it did not go unnoticed. Something didn't go unnoticed. His generosity did not go unnoticed. He got an extra large tip.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or
Mhm.
just appreciate, you could say, "I appreciate his words, but his actions don't seem to match."
I like the word appreciate. It means so many things, right? It's like
Yeah,
you see that it means to see
yeah.
something, to value something. It's kind of a multi-layered word in a
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, it is.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I just think that this is really good for connection, this whole
Yes.
idea. Again, we talked about just showing you're paying attention. You're
Yes.
not letting things just slide. You're actually actively paying attention to what's going on in your life, and
Mhm.
you're thankful for something.
Yes, and you need to be able to express that, right? Because again, people have different communication styles, and in different cultures, people say things differently. Sometimes things
Mhm.
are said more through eye contact or through body
Yeah.
language rather than the words. We're a culture where the message is really often in the words themselves, but that's not true around the world, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many nuances involved with connection, Michelle.
Yeah. Good
Fascinating.
point.
Yeah.
Let's put it together in a role play. So here we are friends,
Okay.
and I'm complaining to Lindsay about my boyfriend, but
Okay.
also I'm making excuses. So
Oh, complicated situation. Okay, here we
very
go.
complicated. Here we go. He could be nicer, but I really do like him.
Michelle, he's no good.
Believe me, Lindsay, it's not lost on me that he's not perfect, but he has a lot of good qualities.
I appreciate the fact he was really nice to me when I lost my phone, but his flakiness towards you does not go unnoticed.
Maybe you're right.
And this is the number one job of a friend, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. It's a tough love.
Tough love, help people not fall into their blind spots when it comes to love and romance, especially, right? We've all
Yep.
got them. Yep. Good. So, what did you say first to me, Michelle?
I said, believe me, it's not lost on me that he's not perfect. Now, that's a little complicated
Yeah,
sounding.
double negative here.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not lost on me. So I'm aware,
Yeah.
right, that he's not perfect. So
Yes.
I'm aware that he's not perfect, but he has good qualities. So I'm trying to make excuses for him.
Exactly, exactly. And then I said, I appreciate the fact that he was nice to me when I lost my phone. So I'm giving him that. I'm saying I appreciate something.
Mhm,
I saw something. I noticed something, right?
mhm,
But his
mhm,
flakiness towards you does not go unnoticed. Okay. So that's interesting because
mhm.
we're speaking in the passive voice there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
What
so
about that,
who it
Michelle?
doesn't right, good exactly, it is passive.
Mhm.
So who does it not go unnoticed by?
Yeah, so by me, right? I'm
Yes.
saying I do not miss. I do not notice. I do not notice his flakiness. And sometimes we do that double negative, which could be another great episode, Michelle.
Double negatives, yep.
I don't not notice. So we won't teach that one today, but there is something to show our listeners there for another day. But yeah, so basically I'm saying I do notice it. Okay. Mhm.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh my gosh. This is really fun. And again, this was such a good question.
Yeah.
Very good to be paying attention. Definitely if you're watching TV, you hear something and you're like, "What is that?" Send it to
Yes.
us. Just send it in.
Yes. We love that. We love that. Send in the line or whatever it is, and we'll answer your question and we'll shout out your name on the show. All right.
All
There's
right.
another episode, Michelle, where our listeners might want to go. Shall I let them know?
Please let them know.
All right, it's 2366. Just scroll back to 2366. Don't blow off this English vocabulary episode. Good stuff.
Yes. All
All right.
right, takeaway for today. I would say show people you're listening, show people you're paying attention by
Yes.
using this expression. It's going to kind of
Exactly.
elevate you and show that you're smart, you're with it, you're
Yes.
looking for other cues other than things that people just say and that are just easy and direct.
Exactly. And as a language learning goal for our listeners at the B2, C1, C2 level, setting a goal to catch more nuances in the words that people use, right? Because sometimes people select words that might have double meanings
Yeah.
if they're trying to say something. Right? There's so
Yeah.
much nuance behind the language. And once we get into the C levels, C1, C2, we can start to
Yeah.
catch those. So that's where we're all headed as we're listening to this podcast. Right?
Love it. All
Mhm.
right. Well, thank you again for this question. And guys, give it a try.
Give
Use
it
it
a
in your
try.
conversations.
All right. Sounds good, Michelle. Hit the follow button, listeners, and we'll see you next time. All
All
right.
right. Bye.
Take care, Michelle. Bye.